Hello Nathan, and a virtual welcome to JRA 420. This will be some video feedback for your Milestone 1 logo and also some remarks on your website. I realize that you're perhaps not feeling the best right now, and I don't expect you to revise your website substantially in the class, but it looks like you have the competence to be able to provide a setting for your branding suite on your website. Good going. Nathan, I looked at these both in Acrobat, here they are, as well as Illustrator, and I wanted to commend you on how you've constructed them. But let's just go over them one at a time here. I like that Nathan, maybe take some of the vowels out and it becomes nth, and to the nth degree, so it does suggest like a high standard. This is sort of a I would say mid-century auto mark type, and it has sort of it projects mid-century, I think, almost maybe perhaps earlier than that, Art Deco, streamlined. This rounded corner N is probably from a different era. I sort of associate that with the 70s, and then you've got what looks like Gill bold or variety of it here. I'm not sure about this letter form. A script might be appropriate, but and if you do use this, maybe close it up a little bit. Typically, scripts are tightly letter spaced. I really like the way that this is constructed in Illustrator. I was able to turn on or off layers. For example, I like that I can eliminate elements in your collage, for example. I don't know how this is going to reproduce at a small scale. I like the idea. It's very different. The value-wise, the TH gets lost in the background of this building. And so, you might want to pick a color that has a little bit more contrast, or maybe ghost these back. I like the photo collage. It reminds me of maybe a Harry Callahan photograph from the 60s. A little bit disorienting, but it allows you to showcase some of your skills with respect to photography. So I'm thinking that this is probably my favorite. This has promise too. It doesn't have the distraction of the photography. Of course, it's not as specific and it doesn't include your interest in photography. But I like the simplicity of it. I like that you capitalized on that pun where NTH is drawn out of your first name. I like the contrast of the script against this almost athletic block serif, or sans serif rather. The banner might need some work. Take a look at banners, banderoles, cartellos. There's a lot of names for these things. They appear in art throughout art history, in manuscripts. But anyway, so know that there is a precedent for this kind of banner. Pennant is another word for them. This is also promising, nth, even perhaps a simplification of the former one. Design tends to get lost, but you might be able to make this, if you find an extended typeface, perhaps make the crosspiece of the H just that word, design, or design bullet photography. I'm thinking that you may want to include your interests, incorporate your interest in photography somehow into your logo. All right, so you have a framework for your website. You've got the social media. I see that you've got a digital resume. Putting this up for review might be helpful this week. It looks pretty complete to me, and I'm glad that you've listed your all of your experience. We all start from somewhere. Humble beginnings, I think, are respected. Now, here's maybe where you want to put. You'll be able to mount some of your branding suite, perhaps. And there are many ways of doing that. Katie Wilkinson's branding suite, which I think I posted in the middle of this last week, should give you an idea. There are apps out there where they simulate real photography very well, with your logo and letterhead being on sheets of paper, which line casually but posed on a desk. An image like that, which sums up your branding suite, is all you really need to show us. But I like that and then of course, incorporate some aspects of your branding suite into your website. That would include palette, use of the logo, and if at all possible, typography.